So let's look at the notifications that the agent would receive after placing those orders. The first order was a full service order, and here's the credit card receipt for that transaction. You can see it's coming from order system at Plans and Tours to the agent. It says that it's a order receipt. This is an automatically generated email. This is your receipt, and then here are the details of that transaction. Obviously this section here would change because this is a test transaction. In a live mode you'd get a real transaction number that could be tracked if necessary, if we had to go and look it up on the merchant account. And then here's some contact information so the person knows who to call if there's any questions. So that's the credit card transaction receipt. And then here is a site visit confirmation. So this one is coming from Plans and Tours Denver, so the agent can reply to this. It clearly says site visit confirmation, and then Dear Mark Cowton, we're confirmed for this date, time, approximate duration, this address, and then here are the branded and unbranded tour links, a download link where they can download the low-res or high-res photos, a soft copy of the CD, get visitor statistics, send themselves an e-flyer, and a couple of other things. And then this section here is designed to set expectations and protect you. So what we're saying is, if you're not familiar with our services, read this, and read this. And then here's some extras, things like, if you're ordering flyers, go here. So these templates are editable. We can change the format, so if you have certain things you'd like to say or you'd prefer to present the information in a slightly different way, you can just send us the copy that you'd like and we can implement it for you. And then later on, as you become more familiar with the system, you'll be able to implement these changes yourselves as well. So of course there's a signature, which is all the correct information for that office, and then there's also a disclaimer here about late cancellation fees. In the past we've charged $30. If somebody doesn't show up or only gives us 24 hours notice before cancelling something, we charge them late cancellation fee. So that can be changed as well, once you start using the system. So that's the order confirmation and the receipt for the full service order. The self-service order that the agent placed generated these two notifications. Again, a credit card receipt for the appropriate amount. In this case it was $98. You remember it was $39 for the tour and $54 or something for Craigslist. So that's how that one adds up. Again, same kind of format. And for the self-service order confirmation, this is obviously not a site visit confirmation because the person's doing it themselves. So it's just, you ordered a self-service virtual tour for this address. Here's the upload link. So now they can click on this and they can upload their images directly into that tour. And then here are the branded and unbranded tour links, signature again, and that's it. In this case obviously no disclaimer for late cancellation fees. So each of these little emails is carefully crafted for the purpose in hand, but as I say, you could change these if you'd like. Now these are the notifications that the agent would receive, but of course since you did not personally take these orders, they came in through the system, you also need to be notified, so you will get copies of those emails. They're not exactly identical because some of the redundant information is eliminated, but you get a notification in your email. Let's say you're running Denver, so you'd have denver@plansandtours.com. Into that email you would receive these notices, copies of them, so you can see what's going on, and of course they appear on your schedule and in the admin system because somebody is actually creating a listing themselves. So let's take a look right now at those listings and how they show up in the admin system and the scheduling system. I'm logged into the scheduling system for Denver on Sunday, July 11th, and I'm logged in as the supervisor. So if I look through the calendar, going through the dates, on the 16th, here is the full service virtual tour that I just created. And you can see the full details. So it's a silver tour with blueprints, the address, who the contact is, a full work order in the form of a PDF. I can edit the listing and take a look at the details. All those little details, things like night shoot, extra panos, all that stuff shows up in additional services. Things like the property URL that I requested. So you've got all the details in your job summary information. And it's on the schedule. You can see it. And this is the person whose calendar, Dave Jones, is the person whose calendar is exposed to the public so that people can put orders on it. Now, of course, Dave Jones may not be the person that executes this order. I might wish to just drag it to John Smith. As far as the agent is concerned, nothing's changed. He's placed an order and it's still scheduled for 8 a.m. on July 16th. We've just now assigned it to John Smith, and Dave Jones, whose calendar was exposed, has now been freed up, so that time could be selected again by somebody else that's online placing orders on your calendar. And then you could assign it to Eric Scott, or maybe Dave Jones goes and does the job. Anyway, there is the order itself. It also shows up in the tracker, and here is that order in the tracker. So you can now track the status of the blueprints, flyers and CDs, or other stuff that they've ordered. And then here, one of these, this is the self-service virtual tour that was ordered. Same kind of thing. I've got an entry in my tracker so that all the way through the system, I can track, has this job been completed, has this step been completed, and so on, until the whole project is finished. In the case of self-service tours, there are some tasks, especially for a first-time customer, that need to be done by the dealer. So that's why it shows up here. There's no point in putting it on the schedule, so it doesn't show up on the calendar at all. It is kind of put on the calendar on July 12th at midnight. July 12th was the day after it was ordered. July 11th is today. So that's what happens on the tracker and the scheduling system when someone places an order online. And then in the admin, the listing also gets created. So a shell of the listing is created. There's not that much detail, obviously, has been entered. Let's have a look. So it's put the address up here, the price. It's gone and created the maps that are appropriate for a silver virtual tour. It's got the shell of the agent profile there. So it's actually gone and created an agent, given him a fake photo, created a portfolio page for him, given him basic phone number details, and so on. So if this person immediately placed another order, it would find this profile and reuse this profile. So as you go and develop this profile, actually go and get his photograph, give him a company logo, maybe change his company color scheme. Next time he places an order, it will use the email address as a unique identifier to match him to an agent profile you already have with his email address on it. So it will pick up the right profile and add that listing to his portfolio. Let's go back here. So if I go back to agents, you can see that Mark Cowton was created. So that's about it. Now you've seen the notifications that are received, the listing and the agent that get created, and the events on the schedule and tracker that also get created when somebody places full service or self-service orders online. That's it. Thanks for listening.